What a perfect way to ring in that last game that we just had. King having some wise words, but walking away from the mic. What a game from Evil Geniuses. I'm Mazel. I'm joined by Keel and Beatdown Boulevard yet again, and we're going to be getting into our Rally Cry halftime show very shortly. But before that, we have to break down that game a little bit. It was a triumphant win from Evil Geniuses. While it started rocky, as we expect between these two teams, I think the culmination was that the execution was just on the side of Evil Geniuses, Keel.
Yeah, I think they played really well into their comp strengths. And then they really, once the Kai'Sa did get the lead, they made sure to accommodate her well, make sure they were making space for her to keep hitting. And I think it was pretty hard for Fierce Comp to come back from behind, especially with just because of draft. They're all short range. Not much peel either, so they kind of were forced to go inward instead of cutting back. So yeah, just well played by EG that game.
I don't know if you have any takeaways from that one beatdown as well, but kind of that maybe potential turnaround on the other side for the side of Cincinnati Fear, needing to find some more of that momentum. Maybe they got off game number 2.
Yeah, I mean, they weren't able to really close this one out. It was tough because I agree with Keel. EG played this mid game really well. And they made it so hard for Fear to actually get the right angles. It takes, when you're in these situations, we saw King, you made a mistake. You got shut down, and that was the window back in. When you're that far behind, that's kind of all you have to rely on as Fear. So it's probably back to the drawing board before we go into Game 4. Otherwise, they are going to get 3-1, and that's it. Their season's done.
That's the craziest thing, is now Fear backs against the wall. Their anime arc reaching its end potentially here, but needing to find a way to make it back. Have that nice little comeback. 19-1-6. That is your anime protagonist for this game number 3. And King absolutely showing them how it's done.
Yeah, the crazy thing is, I think Magical called it. This is definitely the most kills in the regular season and certainly in the playoffs as well. As what an insane performance.
Yeah, I think he played out really well. I'm curious if Fear will take Kai'Sa for themselves. I know they even flex it, and they both seemingly like it. And I think EG have now played 3 Kai'Sa games in a row, so maybe they look to change up something like that. Or if not, at least the draft surrounding it would make sense to me.
Yeah, something has to be done with the Kai'Sa. The flexibility it provides, but just the strength it provides. So that was our rundown for game number 3, obviously. But now we got to get to our fun. We got to get to our Rally Cry halftime show. So we'll be coming back to it. And for this one, I want to get a little bit big brain. We have one of our premier junglers in our league here with us. So I want to take advantage of that. And we're going to have some back seat jungle, if I could speak words, where I have gotten us some clips of the pathing early on for both of our junglers. And I want you to kind of dissect the thoughts and feelings that we're going to be looking at and where the direction should go or where you want to see it go as well. So I want to go ahead and bring up our first one. It is our Mayo's path early on. It is going to be a bit of a long one. We're going to speed it up for you as you go. But just think about the mindset you're bringing into a matchup like this when you are the Nocturne.
Well, my first initial thought is I don't even really like the Raptor start. It's okay. But the one thing that does become awkward for him is the dragon timer, right? Where you saw he adapted by he skipped his second Gromp. He's doing a pretty standard, you do your Raptors and then you go back to the top side and then you do your second Raptors, Krugs, and then base. Which is the standard, there's the highest XP clear because you get to reset your Raptor respawn. But when Perry's doing the matching clear on red side, Perry's first base will bring him into bot river naturally. Whereas Armal will want to go into top side. So Perry will just be bottom on the dragon timer. Is the only issue, quote unquote issue with this clear. But the way our Mayo adapted was good. Just make sure he doesn't rush the dragon on that one small window, and then there's not much of a big difference. So in terms of efficiency, he even did the Gromp before the blue just so that it'll respawn faster, so he can hit his 6 a little bit faster. Yeah, just really good.
This is a game where Armeo absolutely needs to find at least some kind of balance earlier on, right? Some presence at least in his own jungle, and have some of these scuttle crabs go his way.
Yeah, he definitely shouldn't be getting 2 crabs, and then it also gives him the option to play into top. If Surdy had a big chunk onto Cassante, potentially could have been a play. And then also if Perry had made a mistake, he could have maybe taken the Raptors. I think that was the mindset behind his pathing. Yeah.
So
we actually get to see the other side of it too, beatdown. As we're gonna go to it, it's gonna be Perry's side. What were you saying?
Yeah, I was just gonna say I was curious for you to clarify way Armeo started? Was it just not optimal to start Raptors, or is it fine to do that and always skip the Gromp to prevent the Dragon Timer, or what would you have done?
I think given his like bot lane, he should just start top and path the bot, or he should do like Raptors into his top side and then clear back down.
Yeah.
Because his bot lane shouldn't have push on the Dragon Timer. They should just naturally be losing push or in base. So pretty much he forced himself to have to give just not be able to do his Gromp on respawn. So it's just like slightly less efficient. But I think he did, like, given the lane states and pathing, he did, like, the correct play, which was skipping the Gromp, yeah.
Yeah.
And then you have, like, kind of a
by
mirrored
Perry, I think
side
this
on
is,
the red side.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think this is really good by Perry. Like, none of his lanes, unless he wants to really look for, like, maybe, like, a flash for flash on bottom, they can try and, like, cheese gank bot. But I think he's really happy to just, like, full clear on first clear. And then maybe, if he's really doing anything proactive, can look for, like, his second round. Because, yeah, like, lanes are hard to gank. I think also he could have looked for, like, you know, even 3-camp top is, like, an option. But there's nothing wrong with just doing the efficient clear on Maokai. With, like, the lane states, matchups. Like, if Nocturne finds him early, Perry does hard lose. So, it's pretty good what Perry does. Just make sure you get one, like, standard, like, clear off. Don't fall behind. And then, once he gets that first base off, you saw he was able to, like, start retaking river and, like, contesting things. Like, pressuring the dragon, at least. Even though he couldn't do it that game.
I was gonna say, does the next step come where you try to press a little bit advantage? Because you were saying you don't want to get caught early, but I do feel like there's a point where the Maokai does have some say in some skirmish. Is that true at all?
Yeah, like Maokai, if he gets first base Giant's Belt, right? Because he also, if you do one full clear, you won't get Giant's Belt. You'll be like a little bit shy of gold on your first base. So when he does the Raptor like respawn before he bases, he'll get the item beforehand.
Okay.
So yeah, it gives him the better buy, and then he gets a pink ward as well. And then he can push his lead. It kind of depends how the lanes are doing. I think the way both junglers played early game was just good or fine, yeah.
Yeah.
None of them really made big mistakes.
So we had the jungle pathing, but, you know, there is the rest of the team that's involved. So I want to take a look at some other clips that we have. The next one is a bit of a combo steal from Perry and Shochi. So get your thoughts on, especially Armeo's side of things here, but the fact that we do see this kind of go down.
You're right, yeah. Well, so Armao sees the ward, and now he starts sweating it a little bit. He's like, okay, Shochi's coming. I guess I'll pull the red buff or something. I mean, my one thought is Armeo just greeds the smite. I think he should just smite it. There's kind of no reason not to, I think. Because like this dragon is going to be hard to contest regardless. And it is honestly a kind of a big deal for Nocturne to lose this red.
Yeah, it is.
Shochi even could have like pressed harder maybe. Like he could have like, yeah, like flash forward if he wanted to, like flash for flash. Definitely wouldn't be that bad, because then I'm thinking about Fear at the Herald right after this. Maybe they can like have like Maokai flash on Nocturne and like try and all in him. Could have been a play. But regardless, it was a really good use of the prio by Shochi. I think Perry pulling Dragon on the same timer made Armeo feel safe because he sees Perry.
Yeah.
And then Shochi just snuck in on his own. Was pretty good, yeah.
Do you ever get like a spider sits and sit moment like this where you don't have maybe like
every jungler, like you've learned your lesson enough times in solo queue.
This is like the most awkward spot to take the red buff. You're like right between two bushes.
Yeah, this is like if you're versus a Rengar jungle in solo queue, you know this timer too well. Because every game they will be at your second red.
All right, well, we have one more here. And I'm going to need your expert opinion on the pathing especially. Let's go ahead and bring up our fourth clip. And it is the Rift Herald pathing down mid lane.
Oh, Surely this was big brain.
I need your big brain analytics here. We had to have some fun, all right? We had to have some fun.
Shelly is coming in hot. I'm pretty sure Fear is down quite a bit of gold. I honestly would prefer the Shelly to go bottom. Because, you know, like, it's kind of like you have numbers advantage bottom. Maybe you get, like, a small window into Baron. You can try and, like, flip Baron. You can try and make a play. Because they'll have to enter the Herald on bottom. Whereas we see mid, just Shelly. Shelly had nowhere to go.
Yeah.
Do cardio
Technically,
today.
it's better to even let Herald expire than do this. Because they don't get the XP.
Yeah.
So
it's
I was
somewhat
gonna
indifferent,
ask
yeah.
you, because I actually see this a decent amount, right? Where you're just off timing a little bit and you end up having to drop it.
Oh, they got the turret. That's fine then,
they ended up getting the long-term goal, but in a moment like this where you are, you know, Perry in this situation, you've missed the timing, but you have to spot it. What is your kind of vibe? Like, where are you looking to drop it? Priority? You just drop it at random in the base, or are you trying to find something where you can actually make good on that?
I think always mid or bot. I mean, I just was surprised it got the crash off mid, but he timed it well. EG Tech like probably could have maybe gone on them on that timer, but yeah, I mean, what he did was completely fine. Because he doesn't want to go, and he has to stay topside because of Baron, right? Just to make sure they don't rush it. So yeah, I think what Perry did was fine.
You think there's a timer where like he's walking straight out of base, and he gets like the notification because your screen goes purple, and he's like, oh damn, I guess I have to drop it now.
Yeah, like you're not happy about dropping it, but there's not much else to do, so it's like
Rather that than it
see
go
what
away.
you can do. Yeah.
True.
All right, well, that is it for our Rally Cry halftime show. I do want to hone in on the series because we are one game from seeing Fear eliminated and for EG making the run all the way to the live finals at Riot Games Arena. If you don't know, you can go ahead and buy your tickets now. Go check Path to LCS. Get those tickets in and put butts in seats because we got 2 banger teams that are going to be coming out of it, and I am especially excited to see Fear's bounce back in this one. I want to ask you, Keel, how do you see that kind of bounce back? Do you see a lot of kind of comfort come through in this next game?
I hope so. I mean, I think Fear should probably change something. I would like to see the Kaisa removed if they want to look for a Tryndamere, honestly. Or just like a lot of melees in general. Yeah, just find out some way in draft to force it to be different to get some slight edge. I think something Fear should look for is like, yeah, just anything like that. Maybe even lowering the Maokai prio a bit. I think the Nocturne was just letting EG play to their strengths, and seemingly they're really happy to play that way. So, yeah, I'm curious how Fear will adapt.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was just going to say, I'm wondering, too, if they take blue side instead and maybe take the Kaisa themselves. Something
Yes, I would like that
Manui
too.
are definitely something they're willing to play.
Yeah, I think the way that we've seen the meta of this game, or this series draft out especially, I want to see that comfort come through, but I also want to see some of that cohesion really come alive. Because, right, that's what we came into this one looking at both teams. We've seen and known a track record of Fear being so good when they're all together, when they're feeling confident, and when the play is right. But Evil Geniuses have seemingly just put the glue between all 5 of them here in the playoffs in this late season run. And so I feel like a lot of that cohesion is what this culminates to. And a lot of it's going to come down to the stress and execution of a game number 4 right on the horizon. Draft is ready to go, so I'm going to hand it back over to Magical. Let's see how this one plays out.
I'm back and I'm ready for game 4 here. Cincinnati Fear, they got their backs up against the wall, and as you guys were calling out, they have opted to go to the blue side for this game. So when we look at draft, I don't expect the bans to be very different from what we've been seeing all series long, but it's like you guys both said, that Kaisa, really looking at that as more than likely going to be the first pick for Fear if it's the same 3 bans that we've seen from EGC, that Zig, Seraphine, and then Renekton.
Yeah, I'm curious to see if we see that Kaisa first pick come through. I mean, we probably will, and see whether or not Evil Geniuses are going to actually take the Maokai or just continue playing the Nocturne, because it's just been a great pick for them overall.
Yeah, it's definitely their comfort. I like the Renekton ban from Fear because in game 1, EG did just 1-2 it. And I mean, it seemingly is just strong in the series. Yeah, neither team really likes versing it. Neither team wants to deal with it.
Oh, wow, they
Tristana.
did it.
Tristana is open
true.
for them to take right now, and with the Maokai, something that you guys were talking about that being something that you'd like to see maybe a little bit of that priority dropped for, but it seems like taking away that Kaisa from King, so he can't have that anymore, and then having the Tristana that has been banned by Fear pretty much every single game this series be open. EGC now have to make a choice. Do they ban? Yep, they do ban the Tristana, because I'm like, you can't let Shochi have that.
I agree.
Yeah,
I think it's a good choice.
You just first pick Maokai. Sejuani is there, but I mean, Maokai is just so strong right now. So that's going to end up being the pick. I wonder if EGC are going to take away the Jace. It's been banned away a lot so far, but I'm wondering if it's something they're going to grab early on, because I could easily see Shochi pivot to that one in this game.
I see Zaya Rakan here for EGC with the Kaisa being banned. That they could just slam that. The Nocturne that we've been seeing from Armeo could just wait until that 3rd slot. But no.
Wow.
Okay, going for the Jack. So, Keel, looking at this draft so far, and there's the Rakan that I was kind of calling out, but looking at this draft so far, what are your thoughts?
Well, I'd be thrilled if I was Armeo. Just Jax and Rakan, 2 of the best play for jungle champs in the game.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I think it's just EG's, like, honestly just the way they like to play. They don't even necessarily care that they're versus Maokai. I would assume maybe like a Nocturne on 3. Just
That's
given
what
what they've been preferring to play. Maybe they just respond with a pick as well.
Yeah, and I mean, I would really like this Gragas. Yeah, I mean, it would be fine. It's fine into the Jax. We saw examples of that yesterday. It's also good because it breaks up the fight.
It's been Philip's like go-to answer whenever Jax is on.
Yeah.
Sorry, Beat. I just wanted to interject that.
Yeah, that's fine. Gragas, splits up the fight as well. The ways to disengage and make space when a Nocturne is coming in on you might dissuade that pick, get Armeo to go on to something different. And JJ, again, another pick that does the exact same thing. I think these are 3 champions where it's like, please pick Nocturne. I'm begging you.
It's pretty much like, yeah, it's just, Armeo, we dare you to play that Nocturne. And I don't think that's going to be the case. With the power that Sejuani Jax has, since they got that Jax, it just makes so much sense to go on to the Sejuani, which also, fun fact for both of you, did you know that the only pentakill that Armeo has ever gotten in his career was on Sejuani?
That sounds somewhat familiar, yeah.
Yeah, I feel like I watched that.
2021.
Yeah. That was
Well, Fear's got the 4 or 5 picks for their 2 carries, and they both play crazy champs, so I'm glad Fear gave him the 4 5s, even though the draft looks interesting for Fear. I don't think it's that bad. It's like, yeah, it makes sense into the enemy comp.
Yeah, and it's interesting because usually we see at least 1 carry come through at this point, so you do get that pick of the litter in terms of bans for EG. Again, Jace is gone. I like the Azir takeaway as well from Fear, just because if there is no Nocturne, I should say, you want to remove the disengage options as well for EG.
So kind of looking at the bans now coming in as we get into the second rotation, that Zed away from Shochi, they're not letting them have that anymore. Like if you're not picking that early into the game when we can counter it, we're just not going to let you have it at all. And I understand that ban, but I'm looking towards Fear and wondering if they want to just double up on these mid lane bans. The Azir taken away, and the Ahri could be something that they also opt to take off the board. But then Silas. Yep, there it is. I was literally thinking, I'm like, then there's Silas that you have to worry about with that Alistar, so they don't go for that. But it leaves open the Lover still in the bot lane. So, Keel, if you're Cincinnati Fear, what is the choice here? What do you want for your solo lanes?
Well, first of all, the Veigar is open, maybe, but they're very AP heavy. Maybe, I'm really not sure what direction Fear will go here.
Yeah, I would have really liked this too, but it's gone. I think the ban there is to remove auto attackers too, because it is the Jax you're playing into. I mean, Alistar,
Veigar, Akshan.
Yeah,
I think
it's a big combo. Could be Akshan
Could be it, yeah.
Yeah, I think that if I'm looking at Fear, that you called it, Keel, that Veigar that they locked in for Manui, then I'm thinking, all right, they got to get damage, like an AD damage source somewhere. And Akshan's what comes to my mind. But, whoa.
I was going to say, maybe just a random ADC mid, yeah.
Or it's actually Shochi playing Veigar. I think he has one. I think he has played a game on it.
Yeah, I think it's Lucian mid. But then it's a blind Lucian mid, which kind of wild here. So Ryoma has options that he can take that could counter it. The Azir's gone, but something like Syndra that we know that Ryoma likes to play, a great answer here and a really well-rounded composition for Evil Genius's challengers.
Yeah, it is an interesting one. So it is, as you guys said, it is going to be the Veigar bot. Sometimes we see this team get these kinds of favorable matchups on blue side rather, just because of the fact that they are very comfortable playing both of these champions. I mean, again, this combo has been really big for Manui and JJ in weeks past. You do scale really well, and the hope for this mid lane pick for Shochi is that he gets Prio early on, as we've actually seen it played in LCS by TSM.
Yeah, I think it's a pretty strong pick. At least, even though I was just gonna say, even though it's blind, like I think it's pretty decent in lane. Like definitely not a weak laner. So it gives Fear something to play around now.
Yeah, especially with kind of like how they changed Syndra, you know, that mid-scope that she had a while back that shifted some of her power from the early game. It's not like she's weak early game, but shifted it more towards the scaling aspect, which gives even more strength to something like a Lucian that wants to really play aggressively early into the game, especially with such a pivotal match for Cincinnati Fear. Tournament lives on the line. They lose here, they are out, knocked out completely. They'll finish in third, while EGC, they got 2 chances, this one and another one, if they drop this game to get themselves cemented into the finals. But Smoothie, I don't think he thought anyone was going to be there. I think that's what happened there, Keel.
Yeah, really quick, actually, we are saying bye to Keel. He only joined us for the draft in this last game, and it's just going to be you and me, Magical. And yeah,
I see.
Smoothie going for the, usually you see one person there, you try and get over the wall, but instead he ends up losing his flash. But he also has Hex Flash, so you know what? Not that bad.
Minions have spawned.
Not too bad. And Always going to utilize that one, but I'm looking at how EGC kind of are positioning, and they have this invade already successful on the top side, where they could easily just go take that blue buff. As Fear, really unsure of the position of EGC. So instead, playing very passively, just putting that one ward in the pixel brush, and with both Surdy and Armeo pathing, they're going to take away the blue buff, which I think should be answered by Perry, especially because with Philip realizing, hey, where is Surdy? He's not here in the top lane. He's more than likely helping out an invade.
Yeah, but I mean, you could see the pathing Surdy has gone for there is going to make it look like he came from his own top side. So they actually may not be information. Oh,
JJ? Flash King almost getting him. One more auto attack would have been first blood at level 1.
Yeah, so you do go flash for flash. Actually a pretty big deal that JJ lives there. Because one, I mean, you're okay trading that flash with Xayah just because you're going to heal off your pots. You have your passive, which offers you healing for you and your lane partner as well. So that is something I'm wondering if we're going to see Perry try to punish here. The thing that's going to be tough, though, is that Armeo has taken basically Perry's entire top side, and it doesn't look like Perry is aware of this at all.
He should have, though, especially because Surdy was so late to get to lane. Okay, it does seem that he does know, but that is a late, very late invade, and I was actually surprised there. I was about to say, I would imagine that Armeo would immediately path towards this bottom half, but he's not. Instead, Perry. There's no flashes. There's no flashes. And the baby cage.
Yeah,
how can he get out of that one? He's pushed back in. He's low on Perry's side. Trying to re-engage. Not getting the kill. First blood for Manui.
Yeah, really nice punish. And Perry goes for the full clear, or rather the bot side clear, and goes for that punish like we were talking about. So it is a pretty big deal, and it's good because Perry gets something back for the top side camps that I'm pretty confident he still doesn't know are gone. And we see the replay again, like Manui happy to flash to go for the baby cage, because realistically, as soon as you get the cleanse out, like there's no way he's getting out.
No way. I mean, this is just a great play here from Perry. Creative flash and almost falling, but the fact that he survives, the fact that they get that first blood for the Vigar, so more stacks over for him early into the game, and this is just looking good for Cincinnati Fear. Perry sacrificing a lot to give this advantage to Manui.
I don't know if I'd say sacrificing. He didn't know. It's like he unknowingly sacrificed.
No. I'll tell you right now, he knew. With the path, he saw blue buff. He saw blue buff, and he still went for that dive. There's no way you don't know.
Yeah, regardless, now Perry will be able to get the Scuttle Crab. He is down half the farm of Armeo.
Okay, you know what? You're right. He didn't know. You're right. Sorry, Beat. I shouldn't have questioned you. I shouldn't have questioned you. I'm sorry.
You know, it happens. I'll forgive you this time. But right now, so that does mean Armeo has got a really big first back coming through. You see those double ruby crystals, the extra health. And now I'm waiting to see what Armeo is going to be looking for. Even though that kill came through, I mean, Zyracon is still a very strong early bot lane. So you are going to be able to get this push against the Vigar Alistar. So there's that opening for Armeo to be able to get this first strike coming through, especially because Perry, he doesn't have much to do right now except go for his respawn topside camps. You can't risk losing those again, so he's got to be up there.
No, but this still is kind of playing into what we've seen from Cincinnati Fear, especially from Manui. He's never been that dominant laner. He has always been about scaling into the game, though this could be a little dicey. They got the punt into the wall onto Smoothie, but JJ doesn't have flash. Tries to get out. Oh, that's right. No flash there for King to follow that it went up. Only Smoothie had his flash just come up.
Yeah, so I like it. JJ was trying to go for a ward just to get some idea of where Armeo is. He got the vision, maybe not how he was hoping, but that's the information. Fear no, EG are on the bottom side. There's actually a window for Perry to go for Armeo's Raptors respawn. You can see Ryoma drop the ward too to see if that actually ends up coming through. But because his bot side Raptors aren't up yet, that would actually be pretty good for Perry. Because when we talk about counter jungling and things like that, the respawn camps are worth so much more than the level 1 camps. So it's actually, Perry is essentially caught up at this point by taking this away.
Nice dash there from Chochi, though he does get tagged by the Scout of the Week. Still able to at least clear out the minion wave to make it really difficult, so that way, with the Raptors being taken by Perry, there is no answer that Ryoma can move up there and possibly stop that, even though, as you had called out, Beat, they had full knowledge of that. And looking at how this is playing right now, even though it's only 6 minutes into the game, this is going pretty well for Cincinnati Fear. They've got that kill for the Vigar, still stacking up into the game. The biggest problem, though, is that he is falling pretty far behind in this CS. So I'm wondering if we see Perry visit bot lane again to try to punish King, but with the flashes up this time around, it's going to be a lot more difficult. Oh, Philip. Oh, okay. Philip, wait a minute. He can flash for this one if he wants to. He's waiting for it. No, the chugging of the pot's going to scare him off. Shorty will heal up enough.
I mean, really nicely done there from Philip. As for the rest of the map, it's true. I think Manui is honestly in an okay spot. You're not expecting to go very far ahead. That's why that first blood was really nice for him to pick up. It kind of evens out the CS differential we're seeing right now, and he gets to catch most of this bottom wave. He's looking to scale and get to this late game that we've seen him do so well on before. And because of how much lockdown Fear have, I'm actually kind of liking their chances in that mid to late game because you have so much CC, and you have so many ways to set up the event horizon from Manui. So Fear, I mean, pair with the Lucian, you have a lot of burst damage. It's going to be pretty easy for you to blow up a single target.
But something that, like, we know the combination between the Vigar, Alistar. Like, you talked about this yesterday. Not yesterday, sorry, 2 days ago, when you saw the Vigar getting picked before. Getting banned before by Sky.
There you go.
Where you saw the Alistar and you're like, all right, they're setting up for the Vigar, so they need to ban that away. And sure enough, they did because it has a good combination right here. Like, look at this. So difficult for Smoothly to do much, but JJ playing way too aggressively, like, there gets the stun, but it is going to be traded back, even though the Ignite did take the kill away from Manui.
Yeah, so I mean, now that level 6 is a big deal there. King,
Manui.
This is very killable.
Very killable, but the baby cage gonna scare him away. Oh, he walked into it. No, King. Okay, back into the Feather Storm. Manui flashing over the wall to survive. Throws out a Q. The Baneful Strike. Minions. Oh no, the minions are enough. Not gonna get the kill though. Nearly gets that with a Comet.
All right, but now we look topside. You see this fight for the Rift Herald here. Perry's really liking his chances, especially because his mid laner, everybody is showing up.
Yeah, but Smoothie's here before JJ. That's going to be the big problem. That's why they have to fall back, throwing out the root to try to stop this. But they got the engage, a lot of damage onto Perry. The flash forward, not going to pick up the kill. Instead, it's going to be the kill back onto Ryoma. Even though EGC did secure themselves the Rift Herald, now they've got to escape. They should be able to get 3 of the members out at the trade of Ryoma's life.
Wow, I mean, props to Perry going in the way that he did. Oh, hold on, Philip.
Oh,
Philip has flash, I want to say.
Oh, no. Philip, he's greeting for the wave. JJ is here, and Zerdy's low. Keep that in mind. Flashing forward, looking for the dash, the flash away from Phil, the punch back onto Smoothie, so he cannot engage again. And Perry showing up yet again, throwing the sapling in. Be careful, Zerdy's big. You punt him back, but how much damage can you do to Jax when you don't have any damage yourself? Instead, it's a double kill for Zerdy.
I really don't like going back in there. The fact is, it cost you your flashes, Philip, but you got out. JJ saved you. That's it.
Yeah.
You should be happy and walk away with that. Instead, they end up giving away more gold. And we're going to get a replay of what happened here bot side because, unfortunately, flash advantage was there, and King took advantage of it. And you're going to see the replay here. A really nice stun from Ryoma. Props to Fear for flash and getting on top of the Syndra right away, but they lose the Herald, and overall, not even including the catastrophe that follows up. Fact is, you trade up big time as EG.
Exactly. They get the solo kill for King in the bot lane over Manui. Then they get 2 kills top lane for Zerdy after having already gotten the Rift Herald like you talk about, Beat. EGC coming out huge after that play. A couple of disastrous and catastrophic plays there for Cincinnati Fear. Now put them back on the back foot for a bit, where they got to be very cautious going forward. Even if the gold is even, they've lost out on both neutral objectives so far to EGC, and they are losing out still on that bot lane, where you can see that King, after getting the solo kill, still has quite the advantage over Vigar.
Yeah, I mean, that Kraken Slayer is coming through, and Ryoma.
Oh, they're looking for a dive on him. Nice flash, though, but the root's still there. Punted back in to make sure they can pick up the kill, even with the Unleashed Power doing nothing. As Armeo and Perry fighting a bit in the jungle. The Permafrost kind of having a weird interaction there with Perry, but he'll be fine.
And I like that punish to try and take advantage of a champion like Sin. Oh, hold on.
Oh, King, you're playing a little greedy there. Takes the ult and the shutdown for Manui.
Wow, that's a big deal. So this is 2 good plays coming through from Fear. You take mid out, you take bot. This is an easy dragon for you. And on top of it, you really didn't lose much. I think Surdy got maybe a plate on the top side while Philip managed to make that play on the mid lane. But still, okay, it was more than 1 plate. But it still kills you're pretty happy about because of who is picking those ones up. And Surdy, he gave away more gold. I'm going to say not worth.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say too. Like, Zerdy wanted to get the kill, but giving over the shutdown to Philip. As well, the Dragon picked up by Cincinnati Fear. Increments, you know, small little leads they're gaining from there. That's getting them back. Even if Zerdy is quite far ahead, 3-1 on this Jax, and already going to be very difficult to deal with. Giving even a slight bit of gold back to Philip is going to make this a little bit less of a snowball.
I really want to highlight what you said there a little bit, because it's really important and why we saw, again, champs like Zed banned away in that second rotation. You wanted to get rid of auto attackers for the side of Fear. Jax, he is pretty happy this game with who he's playing into. I mean, for the most part, even though there's a lot of CC, everyone plays into that short range. Everyone is within leap strike distance. So he is still going to be a problem in the side lane for 1v1.
Okay, King playing very greedy there, though he does dodge away from the ult. It got a little dicey there for a second.
He walks away. It's fine.
But he walks away without an ult.
Yeah.
That's a big thing.
Sure. But the thing is now this lane swap for EG, still favorable for them. And King's Splash is about to come up. He has his jungler nearby. And the fact is, because Philip rotated late, more plates are going over to Surdy. And the Herald is going to get that charge in. So it's almost first brick coming through, and it's EGC just picking up so much more gold after those 2 plays went Fierce way.
That turn's a sneeze away from falling. So all you have to do is wait for 1 more wave if you're EGC, and you're going to get a lot more gold. You already have 1,500 over Fear at this point in the game. But yep, there it is. Just going to escort those minions, even cleanse just to get the auto attack so he can get that from mid lane, which is where we see more action. Another dive onto Ryoma, but this time he survives. And they fight back and make sure that Fear regret their decision.
Oh man, that's brutal. Perry was the one who needed to be tanking there, but because of the twisted advance, Shochi took too many tower shots, couldn't finish it. That's a catastrophe. You give away 2 kills right away, and you gave away first brick as well. This is EGC again, winning things out here in that early mid game. Because again, watch this. Shochi getting that, tanking first, again, because of the Maokai W, was why this play didn't go well.
Smart calls on Ryoma too, kind of playing that one very patiently on who he even used the ult on, because oftentimes you'll want to just use it on the Lucian to try to burst him down, but instead focuses on Perry because he's like, hey, even if they get the kill on me, he'll be so low that by the time Armeo gets here, he'll at least be able to clean up.
Now we're getting really close to some of these second item spikes here for EG. Again, of course, that Navori quick blades for King is going to be such a big spike for this Xayah. And we've seen how King has been playing all series long on the Kai'Sa. This game, it's been a little harder. And, you know, you're playing into Alistar Vygar, which is an interesting bot lane to say the least. So there's some forgiveness there. The quest is just going to be, and he continued to use that gold. I'm setting my sights on EG to try and focus and continue focusing on Drake stacking here, build towards that Mounted Soul.
I'm also looking towards when we start having these full-on skirmishes, full-on team fights here for Cincinnati Fear. Despite being behind, anytime we see Cincinnati Fear, it doesn't matter how much gold they're behind. We've even seen it this series, Pete. This is a team that will not give up. They will fight tooth and nail. And as we said, good and bad. Sometimes it works out for them, sometimes it's to their own detriment. But I don't think that even with them falling behind here, especially with their tournament lives on the line, the hope to get to Los Angeles to play up and get the rematch against Disguise after they got reversed swept. That is what is on the line here for Cincinnati Fear, and I think that's going to motivate them going into these fights.
Well, you gotta hope so. Perry is telling me how against DSG, they felt that mental was a big part of it. I mean, mental overall, something very important in best of fives that we talked about at the top of the show today. And so far for Fear, I mean, there have been some moments where it looked like we saw some stress plays, maybe even in this game, but it's true, Magical. Their tournament lives are on the line, and this is their last chance here. We're lower bracket, lose, means go home. Your summer is over, which means your year is over. So Fear have to keep fighting for that one last chance to play at LAN.
Even though they've set a record for Cincinnati Fear, top 3 finish, nothing to scoff at. The better that you can do, obviously you're going to feel more impactful as they go for the engage here from EGC, putting down the baby cage. But Surdy, like you said, on the flank, looking for parry, but he's bouncing, put back, with the leap strike, picking up the kill as Philip was not able to re-engage for the team. Shochi wasn't even able to get an angle either, so now Philip is in trouble, having to get a wave, chase down the flash to pick up a double kill for Surdy as EGC flex their might against Fear.
And they were so much faster at pulling the trigger. Jax teleported way sooner than we saw Philip on the Gragas. So you had so much extra time to get this damage in, and no time for Manui or Shoji to really do any DPS. And again, this Vigar, you're not really online yet until we see more items come through. The death cap is the big thing to worry about. So
That's gonna be some time.
Even trying to contest that dragon was a little bit risky, and EGC, they punished them appropriately.
It's going to be some time until that gets completed. Shochi, oh my god, Ryoma is just going to solo kill him right now. Even with the calling coming in, guess who's here? It's no longer a solo kill. Almost, though. So close for Shochi.
That's tough. At that point, forward is the only way out. And I think the level up ends up saving Ryoma or the shield from the battle dance. Either way, another death over to Cincinnati Fear. And it's just been a tough game for them so far ever since that.
Okay, Surdy, this could be a huge shutdown for Manui. Even with the primordial burst, it's not enough damage to pick up the kill. They're just looking to take down Surdy. Doesn't matter who gets it. The Baleful Strike, not enough. Philip trying to chase him down. Not
Surely
again.
He's not
Surdy,
out.
not again. How do you keep doing this, my friend? Every time it seems like he's in danger. He's able to get out, and they cannot get him.
Way.
He's out of there. He broke their damn ankles.
Wow, and that's just unreal there coming through from Surdy. Oh, hold on. I think he wants to make a play. He has red
does.
buff, remember.
Yeah,
Oh,
and guess
his
who's here?
jungler's here.
Armeo's here too. Counter-strike the stun. Armeo with the dash forward. And even when you thought you were the ones with the advantage Fear, it is always Surdy who's more powerful.
I really like that call from Surdy to stay and bring his jungler back for yet another kill. And this game has just been in shambles for Cincinnati Fear. There's just so little for them to do. I like Ryoma. He's building up the queues for the more powerful ultimate.
Almost was able to get another solo kill onto Shochi, and with Smoothie there too, it does scare off Shochi, but does seem that Fear are at least going to keep him pinned underneath the turret. But going back to your point, it is a 5,500 gold lead now for EGC. They gotta leave. Fear gotta leave, but EGC do not. They are the ones who feel strong, powerful, and in charge of this game. And JJ, the sacrificial ham there, or cow, even though he does go for the re-engage, it's a nice double knockout. But with the baby cage, that actually might turn it around. No, it doesn't, because they got Smoothie still alive. Re-engaging with the quickness. Couldn't kill Manui just yet, but the feathers could, as Shochi will take down another kill on a King with the re-engage coming in from Philip. Fear suddenly turning this one around. Shutdown's gold that they're picking up. Armeo will survive, but that's a lot picked up by Fear for the play.
And this is why we say down, but not always out. Fear are able to look for these skirmishes. They recognize Surdy doesn't have the TP yet, and they managed to make a play, take advantage of him being on the other side of the map. This Herald is an unfortunate one, though. It's not going to get any value, but we'll see it again. I questioned why JJ was dropping the ultimate here, because my initial thought is, surely he's just dead on my screen, but look at Surdy, bottom side. They saw him on the wave just a moment ago. They know Philip has the fast track to join this fight, so it's just about stalling, seeing what you can get, and it ends up being a pretty positive trade.
The fact that Unleashed Power had been used earlier by Ryoma too, so they didn't have that kill threat anymore onto someone like Shochi when he gets low like that. I think these are good plays from Fear, and this goes into the what we constantly talk about with Fear, a team that is willing to fight. Doesn't matter how far behind they are. They will look for angles at every stage of the game, and oftentimes it catches teams off guard because they would expect a team that is far behind like that to kind of just retreat, to not even try to look for a fight like that.
Still, despite it all, objective bounties up. Pity prizes in favor of Fear, and they're grouping mid to see what they can get. King doesn't quite have ult.
What an engage there, but the flash away from King to survive, looking for the stun. They're taking down the turn, as Armeo is going to be the next target. They take down one, looking for the kill on to King, but King couldn't get killed yet.
Ryoma's here.
Baby Cage put down, looking for it, but King takes down Shochi for a double kill. He will finally be stopped, but like you said, Ryoma's on the other side, and look at Surdy. He is looking to hunt down Manui, all the while Phil trying to get away from Smoothie, as Perry, nice Hex Flash over the wall to disengage himself, and even Manui seems to be getting out of dodge.
Wow. Wow, okay, so that ends up being a 2 for 2, and you get an objective bounty. That is slightly in favor of Fear, but everyone has to reset, and as long as Perry walks away, it should just be fine. Aroma does have ult, though.
Does have ult, but does get slowed down. That's going to be the ult. Wow!
Oh.
That's a lot of damage.
Yeah, Ryoma very fed this game, but it's tough now. 30 seconds. I mean, it was already hard enough for you to go ahead and get the streak, but now that Perry's out of the picture, look at EG and where they're posturing for. They don't care about the streak. They want the Baron. They want to snowball this game into a win.
These fights have also been close because Surdy hasn't been a part of any of them.
That's true.
He is the massive player for EGC, the guy they put the development into back with Evil Genius's Prodigies, brought back here mid-split, and has been on a terror with EGC. He is the one set up for victory, and now he is here, dashing into the backline, but he's bounced around, and they could kill him, get him, the shutdown for JJ with the Ignite, and look at Smoothie, almost taking down the calling, but what an engage on the other side as Armeo does die too, and it's Fear coming out on top. The Baron is up. They're starting the damn thing.
6K up doesn't mean jack for Cincinnati Fear, and it's going to get lower and lower now. They're going to get this Baron. They get a huge fight, and if they play this one well enough, there's a world where they can also get the dragon, especially if Shochi, if he gets the kill.
He's looking for King.
Yes,
it's going to be an even fight. Gotta be careful with the flash coming in. He's made a huge mistake as the Featherstorm will pick up the kill. But all that's really important. Oh, wait a minute. They don't have the damage for this anymore.
It's fine.
Are you sure?
What do you mean, yes? Are you serious? He's literally going to smite it in a second now. It's fine. The problem with Shochi dying there, actually, that is really bad, even though Fear get the Turo Baron buff, is now the Dragon isn't an option for them anymore. It's going to be too hard. It would have been really good for them to get both objectives, the upfront gold, deny the soul point, but EGC, they still have a major win condition to play for now, unless we see Perry go for an insane steal. But look, he's topside. He knows this isn't happening, and I mean, Shochi's kicking himself for that.
Yeah, gotta be. Just don't even want to put up the fight over. Oh, no. I know, but I got scared because I saw everyone dash over the wall, the toggle of the vision, the observers. They gave me a little bit of a fright right there.
Yeah.
But looking at the gold, King now, where it was Surdy all game long, the one who had the most gold for the team. King has been slowly getting himself these leads, 7-4 now on Xayah, 3 items strong on this marksman. And we have said before, we'll say it again, King has been on a terror. This has probably been one of his best splits since he first joined in Academy back in 2020.
And it's just been good all across the board here for EGC. I mean, Surdy coming through. We can't speak enough about how good a player he's always been, how he's been able to round out his gameplay in terms of team fighting, and what he has added to EGC. But also, we got to give some props to Ryoma. I mean, the fact that Spring was definitely not his best. I even asked him about it, and he says, yeah, like start of the year was not good for me, but glad that now I've started to level up here towards the end, especially looking at how today could have been. Still could be the end of Evil Genius's season, and he's been playing well.
Hey, they're the ones with the lead right now. They got the advantage. Even if they drop this game beat, they have one more chance. While Cincinnati Fear don't have the same luxury. This is their last life, but they have been clawing this game back slowly. It was nearly a 6,000 gold lead 5 minutes ago for EGC. Now it has been shrunk to just over 2.
And right now, look at Manui. He's got 2 needlessly large rods. He is very close to that death cap, and I like that he's just been sitting on tier this whole time. That's going to be a big spike for the Vigar. A lot of damage coming his way.
Okay,
Whoa, Phillip.
disengaging with the explosive cast the best he can, and the Everfrost getting the cleanse out of King. He also flashed for this play, but oh, barely that connects onto Philip, and now Philip is in danger. There's no escape as well. Ryoma somehow getting a kill on Ashochi in the bot lane means that EGC across map making the plays that are working out as they put the baby cage. Manui cleansing the best he can, but guess who's here? It is Surdy, and with nowhere to go, Fear, you've locked yourself in the cage with the king of top lane. It is Surdy. Jet is here to cool him off and take down Fear.
Wait! They could be looking to close it right now. Smoothie's gonna stop the back. The spawn timers are too long. It might be over.
This is gonna be it. EGC, the last time they were in the grand finals was 2020 when they faced off against King, and King now with the team wants to take them back, get them into the grand finals, win through the lower brackets to face off against Disguise. But one more hope for Fear is going to be Philip and Shochi to defend the base, but the Nexus is under siege, and EGC will book their tickets to Los Angeles.
And what a year it's been for EGC. Nothing but disappointment from the Magical in spring and through the first half of summer. But now for the first time since the second time since they joined LCS, they are fighting for first place here in the playoffs.
All right, and we got Keel back with us. Keel, what are your thoughts on that game? It seemed like Fear were clawing their way back into the game, but it was just that one play disastrous in the bot lane, and EGC said, we can end now.
Yeah, it's so heartbreaking for Fear. I think they pushed their lead a little too much. Maybe, you know, the draft is hard. They had to play like pretty disciplined, and maybe they like pushed their limits a little too much, and it ended up biting them, man.
Yeah, you can see the gold graph there where it was starting to come back. It was that big lead, slowly clawing it back. Then the one disastrous play right there at the end means that EGC will be your team to face off against Disguised in the finals. And looking forward to that one, Keel. Just going to get your opinions right now, especially after you saw how EGC played today. How do you think they're going to deal up against Disguised?
I think they're probably a pretty good matchup. I mean, it's somehow it's our Mayo versus Tomio in the finals, so that's a great matchup. But no, just with even just how EG play, I think Surdy Fake Out will be pretty interesting too. A lot of like shared champ pools, like EG maybe a bit more aggressive and like pushing their pace of the game style, whereas DSG like to like stall out their games, play very like methodically. It should be like a pretty good matchup, yeah.
All right. And Beat, you know, getting your thoughts before we toss it to a break. 3-1 for EGC. We went in today expecting it was going to be 5 games regardless of who won. But EGC just every single game, they were the ones to get these early leads. And even though they did drop one of them, they just looked like the dominant team.
Yeah, I'm really starting to buy into what Get Back said yesterday. The winner of that series is going to win the whole thing because EGC look like they're playing out of their minds right now. And I mean, going into finals, all this momentum, being in lower brackets since the first round, I am leaning their way.
Yeah. All right. Well, with that victory, EGC will go to Los Angeles to play off in the finals against Disguise. We're not done with the show just yet. We're going to toss it to a break, and when we come back, we'll bring back Mazel for our Verizon post-game interview. You won't want to miss it.
The LCS Challengers League is brought to you by Turo, the world's largest car-sharing marketplace. Find your drive.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Verizon post-game interview and our last remote interview of the summer split. It's none other than my boy, my King Surdy, my man. You came into the league, you made a big splash. I crowned you our king whenever you came in. You were reintroduced to the league. How do you feel like that crown is sitting on you now?
Crown's not sitting on me yet. We haven't won finals.
Exactly, that work is still there to be done. You feel like you're getting some headspace up there for it, though?
Yeah, I feel like it. I mean, the second I joined EGC and I started scrimming, I was kind of like, okay, I'm just the best.
All right, I like it. Hey, some
quickly.
confidence. And you've been pretty clear about that so far. Now, you guys have been through the muck. You've been trudging your way through the lower bracket. You've taken down top team after top team. Now you also take down Fear in dominant 3-1 fashion. What and how do you guys keep your eyes on the horizon and keep that motivation forward?
I think having veterans on the team definitely helps. Everybody's like very professional. None of us would have been happy with not making playoffs because that was a real thing. When I joined the team, we were like 9th in the league. Nobody would have been happy with ending early into playoffs. It's just all of us, our goal was never from the beginning to just end low. And so with every win, it's like we're not sitting there relishing it. We're saving that for when we actually win the whole thing.
That's what you love to hear, the competitor's mindset. Do you feel like you've made a strong enough statement so far? I know you still got finals, but your reintroduction, you feel like you've made a statement for yourself?
Finals is what I want, obviously. I think there have been some times where I could have done more in certain games. I'm playing very respectfully right now. Like what you're seeing me do in lane is me respecting like all the possible times that like jungles can show up in my lane. So like let's fight yesterday, he was dead in game 1, level 5, I didn't kill him. Because I thought Viego could be there, Viego wasn't there. I could have been like 3 levels up, but I'm going to play consistent. I know that I'll win if I play standard, and there's no point in flipping stuff like that.
Yeah, you got to make sure you stay consistent as well, especially in a finals matchup. You're going against Disguised in said finals. You know, some members you might know well, but I will say, for me, it's a personal achievement not to have you on the desk, man. We're finally going to see you on stage and having fun. I can't wait. But what are your first thoughts on the matchup against Disguised?
Honestly, I feel like they're going to be easier than Farewell. I feel like... Okay, I don't want to say too much because it's like bad for me to say things. So I'm not going to say anything because I don't want to give away any strats or things like that. But I think that we have a very solid plan going in against them. I think that Fake God is a solid player. I'd say, other than me, he's the best top laner in the league. But I think everybody knows how it went last time that we versed, and the same thing's going to happen again.
Strong words. You also have a little bit of a tie with said jungler for Disguise, a little bit of a throwback there. You excited to face your old teammate Tomio?
I'm excited to face him. I'm really, really happy that after EGC he founded like a team in C9 Academy, which has worked really well for him. Because Tomio's always been like, he was an amazing teammate, like through everything. We had a very hard year, but this guy was always like a beacon of joy inside of our team. Which when you're losing it can be hard to come by. So I wish him all the best, and I'm really excited to verse him again.
Now, you were showing us a little preview, and I got to ask you to bring up the kitty cats. You've been drawing? You've been practicing your art skills?
Something like that. Before my matches, if I am getting nervous or something like that, I draw on whatever water cup I'm using, like little cats. So this is one of them.
So cute!
One of my guys. So like, I think everybody has something, whether they have like a lucky thing that they do or something that they wear. It's like a way to get yourself in the headspace, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. And I want to get into your headspace a little bit more and maybe be a little bit more introspective. What has this journey been like for you, man? You didn't start this split with a starting roster spot. You were a sub. You came into Evil Geniuses. You made this big splash. But personally, you, looking back on it, what has it meant to you?
It's meant a lot. I went into this year thinking that it would be my last year playing competitive league. If I didn't make it into the LCS going into next year on some kind of a roster. That mindset was there on TLF. I was like, okay, you know what? I gotta make the most of the situation I'm in. I joined that team, did everything I could to try and help everybody there succeed. We ended up getting relegated, and at that point I was like, okay, you know what? We look for school. Collegiate, that sort of thing. And then EG ended up reaching out to me, and I was like, you know what? My heart wasn't really in school in the first place, so I'm joining this team, and I'm gonna put my 110% forward because I knew some of the people on it, like Smoothie, and I wanted to make sure that we'd like make a deep run into things because the names on the roster did not suit the placing in the standings.
Yeah, and it's been a heck of a growth, man. I will say you've been a force to be reckoned with in our league, and I want to give you a little bit of space here as well. Not only be introspective, give some shout outs. Anybody you want to talk about, or maybe even some call outs before your finals matchup in LA.
As far as shout outs go, I've shouted out my friends and everything. If I get asked the same question when I'm actually on the stage, I might say something. Until then, I'm coming for the fake fraud in the top lane.
Oh, God, I love you so much, Sturdy. Thank you so much. It's a pleasure to get to talk to you, and I'll see you in LA.
See you then. Can't wait.
All right, I'm going to go ahead and bring back my analyst desk. I've got Keel, Magical, and Beatdown back yet again, and a nice little entrance to our finals there, and some kind words, but also some wise words from Surdy. Coming off a win like that, Keel, what is your first thought of as a player and kind of the sinking in of the moment, I guess?
He seemed pretty in like a good good mindset. Like he's really focused on the title, just like not like gloating, not like feeling too good. And I think yeah, EG like did really well in all the games, so it's not like there's like super high attention. They're not like super like anxious or nervous. Like yeah, it was like pretty level-headed.
A pretty strong performance there. I do want to go ahead and bring up our updated bracket. We have gone to the brink. We are one best of 5 left in our summer split, but it has been a doozy of a journey here, Beatdown.
It has been, and I mean, it's not even just playoffs. It's been a doozy of a split. It's been a doozy of a year. And I mean, talking back to what Surdy talked about, how it seems like the sentiment for a lot of players that this year is do or die. So props to Surdy for being able to move along with EGC to that playoffs. And for EGC and DSG, they still have one more game in them.
I do. I think the journey itself from all of our players, all of our would-be LCS challengers, has been one that I can be proud of. I think we've had a lot of growth moments. We had our 8 coming into the playoffs, and while we could say there were some trials and tribulations for most teams, I think we had one of our most competitive playoffs to date. We do have, though, that last game, as you were mentioning, and that does mean we are going to be live for said finals. We foreshadowed it. We talked about it. We've even tried to get you to get your tickets, but if you don't get it now,
Get 'em.
you're missing out, man.
Get 'em.
You're a bit of a square. You got to go get your tickets. We're going to be at the Riot Games Arena for the Challengers League Summer Finals, so make sure you get some butts in seats and want to see that arena packed full. I think this opportunity is so huge. We obviously didn't have a live final last split. It was different, I would say, in little words, but it is going to be incredible to have everybody in person and be there to throw and cheer on these players. I do want to go ahead and bring up.
Oh yeah. I was just gonna say it's so different being live, in the, in an arena. So it's it's great. It's also great for the players. So that's why you really should go support the players as well. It's just get your tickets.
Get your tickets. I do want to go ahead and get our ticket to the Samsung SSD Fast 5 for the playoffs week number 2. Thank you. We got to have some stats come down for it. Obviously, it's not all just fun and narrative. It is about the numbers. And I want to go to you first, Keel. Do you have anything that stands out? I know you're probably looking at the Jungle Times, but anything else that sticks out to you?
Just 2 of my teammates. Honestly, with the fastest mythic. Congratulations. And,
Let's go.
I'm surprised Zamudo loves his CSD, so I'm a little low for Zamudo's standards, honestly.
Magical Beatdown, y'all have any thoughts?
Probably ADC fastest kill. I mean, we're saying bye to fear, but it's always cool that Manui ends up finding himself at the top of this chart. It's almost every single week when we do these stats. So, I mean, just a little reminder as we say goodbye to them.
Yeah,
it is. It has been an awesome way to kind of cap in our weeks as well, just to have some of these fun stats to play off of. But that is it for our Samsung SSD Fast 5. And that does mean that we have some props to give, and it is to our sponsor, because the LCS Challengers League is brought to you by Turo, the world's largest car sharing marketplace where you can book any car for just about any occasion. You can get a nice ride to the LCS Finals or the LCS Challenger Finals if you'd like to. Forget about boring car rentals today at Turo.com. That also being said, we're giving thanks to our sponsors. Also, shout outs to Subway. But we would not be here today if
also
we were
happy
not
birthday
backed
to my wife. Just
by
let everyone
our
know.
incredible broadcast partner in Monkey Bubble. We have to give incredible thanks. First time we've gotten to work with a broadcast partner 2 splits in a row. I want to go ahead and bring up our graphic. We have to give some thanks and some fun to our monkeys, because we wouldn't be able to make it through this year without them. And our lovable monkeys are always so great. We have to give a huge shout out to them, as I believe my OBS is not working.
No way.
Oh no,
it's not working. Quick, go to
send me the
Beatdown. We're
graphic.
gonna get to work.
Pete,
Okay.
go to you.
I got this. Guys,
I'm working it.
Monkey Bubble are such a great studio to work with. They are, I mean, the amount of work that they do behind the scenes is unparalleled. The fact that they care so much about the product that they will spend time, even time that they don't have to continue allowing us to improve, allowing us to...
I got it.
Elevate the broadcast. You see, we're the talking faces and everything like that, but it is them that made this entire show possible. And if you ever loved it, type thank you Monkey Bubble in chat. I think Gazelle also has it.
I got it. So, our lovable monkeys, they've always been alongside of us. Thank you holistically and ultimately to Sven, to Ollie, to Cynthia, to Jay, to Olaf, to Skylar, and to Damien. You guys have been a cornerstone in our broadcast, and you have been such a wonderful team to work with. I know we won't have you there for the live finals, but we wouldn't have made it to this point without you. So absolute props to y'all. Y'all are one of the best teams I've ever worked with personally, and it is a pleasure to get to cast and be a part of these games with you all. So shout outs to Monkey Bubble. I know it took a while. My OPS kind of trolled us.
We got it.
I just want to give one last little thanks. And that does mean we're coming to the end of this one. That means our remote broadcasts are done. The next time you see us are going to be in live broadcast. So Keel, I want to give you one last moment. Do you have any thoughts, any shout outs, any wise words to our Keel fans out there?
Just shout out Riot and then everyone on the broadcast for having the NACL. Wasn't really even sure if it was going to exist this split, and glad it did. Glad I got a chance to prove myself, yeah.
Where can we find you?
Huh?
Where can we find
me
you?
twitch.tv/KeelJungle, KeelJG, and then at Keel7law on Twitter.
I'll check in after this if you get to play Kindred on stream. I'll see you.
Hopefully, yeah.
Thank you so much for joining us, Keel. It was a pleasure here. Magical beatdown to the rest of our cast. I'm so excited to get to go to a live finals after this, and I just want to thank everyone that made the split possible. Go get your tickets, because we'll see you in Los Angeles, baby, and we'll see you for the LCS Challengers Finals.